Good morning. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. So glad to have you with us on this Friday.
Woo! It's Friday.
I sound like a little like Oprah. Friday. You know, like I'm going to give away a car. Friday. Anyway, so glad to have you with us today. Lots of stuff going on this weekend. The Greek Fest is happening this weekend in San Bernardino at the St. Elias the Prophet Church in San Bernardino. And Greek food is dynamite. And there's tons of food and stuff to do. You can take a walk around the Greek Orthodox Church, which is not a, there's not a lot of those around. So, it's kind of fun. You should go out to that event this weekend.
And the weather looks like it's going to be gorgeous.
Oh, thank you, God.
Temperatures are dropping a little bit.
No more monsoony garbage.
Yeah, well, it might be a little humid out. I think the humidity is probably going to stick around the same, but the temperature will come down, which is nice.
Well, that is nice.
Yeah.
That is nice. So I am so excited to welcome to the show Ginger Ontiveros. She is the executive director for the Making Hope Happen Foundation. And if you are engaged with the education community at all in San Bernardino, you know that name. Excuse me. I think I'm allergic to something in the studio. So without any further delay, Ginger Ontiveros, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Erin. Good morning, Tobin. How are you?
We're good.
Alive, alert, awake, and enthusiastic.
Excellent, excellent.
So tell us about Making Hope Happen.
Yeah, the Making Hope Happen Foundation is the foundation that supports the mission of the San Bernardino City Unified School District. The mission of the City Unified School District is making hope happen. So our foundation is actively aligned with what the district sees as important for education in the San Bernardino region. We help to support students from cradle to career and helping them to be successful at every step along the way.
So I know that you all have been a key partner in this renaissance that's happened in the last few years. And I know that your restart was about a year ago. But in the last few years, there's been a renaissance in the school district. It is not the same school district that it was before Dr. Marsden took the reins as superintendent. Before he started, 11 schools were in the bottom 5% in the state. And now your graduation rate surpasses, I think, everybody else.
Yes, the state, the county, and the national average, our graduation rate with the school district tops that. So, we're seeing about 86% of our students graduate today. So that's a big difference from the around 67% that were graduating 5 years ago. So, huge changes in the district, all moving in a positive direction. And, Dr. Marsden's leadership is certainly helping us take it there. So it's generating a lot of interest and support for the district, and I'm happy to be leading the Making Hope Happen Foundation that brings that support together.
Now, you all have 3 focus areas.
Yes, we do.
And what are those?
And again, it's everything from cradle to career. So we start from 0 to 36 in supporting the Infant Toddler Success Program. This program works to train parents or to teach parents and equip them with the skills they need to maximize the development of their new babies. 85% of brain development, as you know, Erin, happens in those very formative years, and the attachment that parents have with their children really sets the foundation for their later success as lifelong learners.
Yes, it does.
It does. So so that's our first initiative, is really in that 0 to 36 and supporting the Infant Toddler Success Program, very valuable program. The second is what we call innovation in education, where we're looking for innovative projects within the school district to help infuse private sector support to make happen. So right now we're working with Bing Wong Elementary School, who is working on a career exploration lab in the health sciences area. It's called the iCare Lab. Bing Wong Elementary School does experiential learning for its students, and in fact has been asked by the Link Learning organization to help write the standards for elementary school linked learning career pathways.
Oh,
so
wow.
Really, that's a very big thing. They have a lot of accolades coming their way for their really proactive approach to career pathways exploration at the elementary school level. And we're proud to really be a part and support them in that iCare Lab.
Wow. I
Yes,
just
thank you. Yeah,
that's like sinking in. I mean, these are elementary school kids, and
they are.
and I'm sure many of them have never even it's never crossed their mind. Well, what could I do? I don't know. My mom and dad do this, so I guess I'll do
Right.
it. I'll do that too. And
Right.
this gives them an opportunity to see something else.
Yes, and so they're learning standards-based education in the context of career exploration and really getting to understand the 4 C's that help to prepare every person for success in careers. So it's really, very innovative approach at Bing Long. Many of our elementary schools are doing some similar things, and all of them embedding, those standard pieces that are important to later career development. But Bing Wong is doing some really cutting-edge stuff, and so Making Hope Happen is excited to support them through our Innovation in Education program. The third primary area or focus area that we have is in scholarships for students going to college. And so the Making Hope Happen Foundation provides $3,000 scholarships to students graduating from San Bernardino City Schools. But it's more than just the money that's provided to these students because we recognize most of our students are going to be first-generation college-going students, which in practical terms means they don't have somebody in their family, an informal coach or guide or somebody that they can really go to say, how did you do this?
Right.
What do
Right.
I need to watch out for? Where do I get help? They just don't have that social support structure in their own households. And so our foundation not only provides a scholarship to remove financial barriers for them, which are very real, but also matches them with an upperclassman mentor to help them enter college and navigate that process successfully. So,
Wow, that's
yeah.
outstanding. I mean, because things, the A through G requirements, I'm sure their counselors tell them about, but,
Mhm.
that they need to take the PSAT and that they take the SAT and how to register for that and how is it scored and what does that mean? And, most of them, if you've never been through the process, then you don't know
Mhm.
what you don't know.
Exactly. And, people who have been through it a few times, they do know. And it's fresh in their mind and they're current on the policies of whatever college they're attending, which, a lot of colleges have similar things. So even if the mentor isn't attending the same college that one of our recipients is, they know about the standard programs that are there to support the success of students and can say, on your college, you're going to find this. We try to match them at the same institution if possible so that, they can actually take them by the hand and walk them across the campus and say, here's the place where you're going to find tutoring support. Here's the place where you can get extra, assistance if you, need extra help in your classes. Here's the place where you can, find extra financial support, or here's a club you might want to get involved in, or, park in this parking lot because it's closer to where you're trying to go and maybe less people tend to park there. I mean, just little tips that, really make a difference in streamlining the process of understanding and feeling welcome in college.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
That's fantastic. And I know that you all had a big gala in May,
we did. We
and
did on the 4th.
I'm sorry,
On the 4th,
on the
yes.
4th, yes, May the 4th, and May the
May
4th
the
was
4th
with
be
you.
with
With you.
We had
And
some
so,
fun with that as well.
you're a foundation, so you're raising money. And how
Mhm.
can people get engaged, and how can people get involved and donate?
Well, the easiest way for people to contribute to the mission of the Making Hope Happen Foundation is to go to our website at makinghope.org. And there you can learn more about each of our 3 priority areas. You can make a donation on that site as well. And, that will help get you plugged into everything that we do. But you can also, call over to the district office where I work and call my office and ask for more information, offer to volunteer for the organization. We will be looking for some additional board members soon. So, there are, and we have an advisory board that is just a powerful group of people who are committed to education and really passionate about helping us to move forward with these 3 areas. So, there's several ways to get involved, and we certainly invite people to do that. So,
That's wonderful. And do you have any? Now, I'm totally putting you on the spot because you and I didn't talk
you
about
are.
this before. But do you have any upcoming events? Anything maybe in the fall that people might want to attend?
Well, the foundation really focuses on one major fundraising event a year, and that is the gala, which has happened in the spring traditionally. But so right now we're very focused on getting our 62 scholarship recipients this year transitioned into college and matched with a mentor. So that's our primary focus at the moment. The fall is really a time where we look to the school district and we invite employees to do payroll deductions through our Heroes for Hope program. People who make consistent contributions to the foundation really help us to plan better for what we're able to do because we can anticipate and expect what's coming. And so we also invite the public to do that. They can make monthly commitments as well. So, that helps us a lot, and we do that campaign in the fall. But as far as events go, the gala is it.
Wonderful. Well, Ginger Ontiveros, it has been a delight having you on the air with us. Thank you for all of the wonderful work that you do in the community. I mean, if you think about changing a community, the schools are ground zero because our kids will grow up and then they will, hopefully stay in the community and continue to make it a better place.
Well, they certainly shape our future. We believe that as well, yes.
So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And so it's it's time for a break. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. We'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. Ray Lucia here with some important information about debt, your debt. Whether you have a first or second mortgage, you're looking to buy or refi a home or rental property, or just need to consolidate your credit cards to lower your payments and save some serious interest, you need to do some loan financial planning with Steve Alladort, my mortgage man at loanfinancialplanner.com. Now, Steve's not your garden variety mortgage broker. He actually spends time evaluating how you can use the current super competitive interest rates to pay off your mortgage early, purchase a rental property, improve your cash flow, upgrade to your dream home, or even help your kids or grandkids get into a house. That's what loan financial planning is all about. Steve's been helping me and my listeners for over 2 decades, and I can tell you he is the best finance guy in the business. Go to loanfinancialplanner.com. That's loanfinancialplanner.com.
Or call Steve Alladort at 888-563-1070. That's 888-563-1070.
Hi, folks. Let's wind the clocks back 60 years. Food was different. Food provided health and nutrition, and using supplements was minimal. Unfortunately, now we have chemicals, GMOs, herbicides, and pesticides that can be quite lethal in the name of our food supply and, of course, the ever-loving dollar. Supplementing our diets can be very important to stay healthy. Cleansing from daily intruders to the body might be critical. Live strong and take charge. Log on to getthetea.com. Our herbal tea is a great way to cleanse from intruders. Our supplements is a great way to maintain and improve your health. When your health is not up to par, go to getthetea.com. No GMOs, no fillers, and organic, and very helpful in keeping you at the top of your game. Life is too short to feel, you know what I mean. Stay in the game, at the top of your game with getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Again, getthetea.com.
For several years, KCAA has been marketing the Youngevity brand of nutritional and personal care products. Our experience with Youngevity has been 100% positive, so we are pleased to recommend them to you. Regarding nutritional supplements, we recommend Pollen Burst in the berry flavor and Tangy Tangerine 2.0 in the tablet form. For regularity issues, we recommend 3-Day Cleanse, and for personal care, we recommend Morning Hydration Cream. You can shop online for Youngevity at www.kcaateam.com, or you can order by phone by calling 800-982-3197 and tell customer support that you are part of the KCAA team. Youngevity is an American company based in San Diego. Call Youngevity at 800-982-3197 and ask about monthly auto ship that allows you to buy Youngevity products at wholesale prices. That number again, 800-982-3197.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
For more local radio every day, tune into KCAA Loma Linda.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
I just caught him on the tail end of a yawn.
What?
You can't yawn. We're on the radio.
I didn't yawn on the radio. I yawned off air.
We are on the Break the Morning Show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. And I got to tell you, okay, so they're not paying me to say this, but Perrier has this pink grapefruit flavor.
Yes.
It is so good. It is so. I'm a Diet Coke addict, like need a meeting Diet Coke addict, and so I'm trying to back away from them again. I had given it up for a few years and started drinking Diet Coke again when my mom became terminally ill, and I'm now trying to give it up again. And I'm started drinking these pink grapefruit Perrier, and I only had one Diet Coke yesterday.
Well, that's a good thing.
That's a good thing. Usually
Yeah.
I'm drinking them back to back. So this helped because I had these, and they're very good.
Well, good. I'm not a fan of the grapefruit flavor, so more power to you.
That's his way of saying ew.
Right?
All right. So the big news yesterday, and of course we carried it here on KCAA, was the Comey testimony in front of Congress. And his written statement had been released the day before, and everybody had read it, and it was all over the news, and so he didn't rehash that. But he did give testimony in front of Congress that was designed to clear some things up. Now, they asked questions that he couldn't answer in open session, that they answered in closed session. Obviously, we don't know about those, although I imagine some of that filtered information will be coming out soon.
There's a lot of spin today, though, and it really depends on which sort of media source you're listening to as to which version you get, right?
Right.
Of what was said and what it all really means. And I find that whole process quite fascinating. No one seems to want to interpret this through the lens of what's best for America. It's all being interpreted through the lens of, well, if you're a Democrat, this is how he, undermines and indicts the president because the president, is this, that, and the other. And if you're a Republican, he really supports all these things that the president has been saying, and it's, and it's just the media that has actually been sort of making all of this stuff up, trying to insinuate that there's something wrong when there's nothing really wrong. And so I find that whole process of the spin quite fascinating, because I know what happens is that people just get frustrated at a certain point and they tune out.
Yes.
Right? They just tune out.
I've had several conversations with people that I know and care about. These people are educated people. They're learned people. I know that's redundant. They're people who are engaged in the process, and even they are starting to say, for my well-being and mental health, I'm not paying attention for a while. I'm taking some time.
Yeah. Now, I do think there was a lot of interesting things that come out. It's what's interesting to me is that when I was watching the hearings yesterday, Comey is engaging. He's personable. He's knowledgeable. He seemed very in command of the facts. He answered every question. It seemed very honestly. And the kinds of questions that were asked, I thought, were generally good. There was only one senator that I was really sort of confused and disappointed in. He's actually one of my favorites, which is John McCain, who, I don't know if you heard him, he's the last one to go, and he was a little loopy. But all the other senators that questioned, though, the questions seemed to be on point and designed to elicit very specific things that they were interested in knowing about and helping to sort of paint a picture. and I thought it was handled very well. But then, on retrospect today, right, sitting back today, and now just sort of reading the bullet point facts and quotes. Here's what Comey said. Here's the question. Here's what Comey said. Here's all of that stuff. My interpretation today feels a little different. I feel just reading it on a blank sheet of paper without having it delivered by Comey, some of it seems a little sketchy, and I'm like, I can't believe, yeah.
So what seems sketchy to you?
Well, the fact that he sort of leaked his own information, right? And so yesterday, in the process of being asked the question about how and why that happened, he basically said, well, that he felt that Trump, he'd written all this stuff down because he didn't feel he could trust the president. So he was making these notes after each meeting, and he'd never done that before with any other president or any other high-ranking official. Only with Trump did he do that. And then the part that I felt was sort of the most sketchy was that he released it through a friend who is a professor at Princeton, I believe. And that part I found kind of disturbing. That he released it, that he was the leak himself. It just kind of bothered me because the FBI is often the ones that are investigating leaks, right? And the way he said it, well, I'm a private citizen and this was not classified, and I felt that this was my duty to, whatever. The way he worded it, it struck me as odd and a little disingenuous and very political,
Well, I think so too. The thing about it is that he had an axe to grind. Yeah. I found him very engaging as well. He was a very good witness.
Yeah.
Because he answered every question thoughtfully. He obviously had gone through this many times. He was obviously a very well-trained prosecutor, so he knew what he knew how to play the game, so to speak.
Yeah.
The one thing that he said, I know that the president can fire the attorney, fire this position, the head of the FBI, I almost said attorney general. Head of the FBI at any time he wants. I mean, because he works at the pleasure of the president, and he did set that up and say that.
Yeah.
But then he went on to say, well, but he's a lying liar who lies.
Yeah.
And that's why I took these notes. And so, what I took away from that is I really don't like this president.
Yeah.
And I knew his gut told him that he was going to get thrown under the bus, and he was right.
Yeah.
And that's kind of Trump's thing, right? I mean, he likes to fire people. It makes him feel powerful. And,
it does.
And from what I've read, not separate from this, from what I read from a reputable news source, was that's kind of the feeling in the administration in general. Everybody is afraid that they're going to get fired.
Yeah.
Because there's not this cohesive team feeling that's been present in other administrations. So we're going to continue talking about this after the break. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. We'll be right back.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292 FQ Riverside, and K293 CF Moreno Valley.
NBC News Radio, I'm Sharon Reed. President Trump says his fired FBI Director James Comey's testimony was, quote, total and complete vindication. Trump tweeted this morning that was despite so many false statements. Comey stated he has no doubt he was fired because of the Russia investigation, saying he believed President Trump wanted him to stop looking into his former NSA director, Michael Flynn.
I took it as a direction. I mean, this is the President of the United States, with me alone, saying, I hope this. I took it as this is what he wants me to do. I didn't obey that, but that's the way I took it.
President Trump fired Comey last month, a move that prompted the appointment of a special counsel to oversee the investigation of Russian meddling in the presidential election. British Prime Minister Theresa May is asking the Queen to allow her to form a new government after her Conservative Party lost seats in yesterday's snap election. And the Pittsburgh Penguins are one win away from their second straight Stanley Cup championship after beating the Predators 6-0 last night. Sharon Reed, NBC News Radio.
It's time for your KCAA AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3 traffic report. I'm Erin Brinker. In Corona on the 91 westbound before Green River Road, a stalled car is in the second lane from the left. There's stop-and-go traffic from 6th Street. The 71 south is slow as you approach the 91. In Temecula on the 15 southbound between the 79 Winchester Road and the 79 South Temecula Parkway, there's the usual stop-and-go traffic. In Riverside on the 215 northbound after University Avenue, a crash is now in the center divider with stop-and-go traffic from Cactus. The 60 west is slow from Pigeon Pass to the 215. And finally in the Cajon Pass on the 15 northbound at Oak Hill Road, an accident has been cleared. This has been your traffic report on KCAA. We are the stations that leave no listener behind. I'm Erin Brinker.
From the KCAA Weather Center, I'm Joel Hillsman. For this morning, patchy fog during the early morning hours, otherwise sunny with a high near 83, light and variable wind out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 57. Into Saturday, mostly sunny with a high near 77. Today, patchy fog during the early morning hours, otherwise sunny with a high near 83. That's your weather forecast for this hour from KCAA 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM. 3 and 1, the trifecta of talk in Southern California.
From the KCAA Community Calendar, I'm Mark Westwood. Everyone's talking about Third Thursdays in San Bernardino. Yes, rediscover City of San Bernardino's Third Thursday Food Fest. Switch up your lunchtime routine and try the gourmet food truck Third Thursday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Court Street parking lot between E&D Streets in downtown San Bernardino. Enjoy delicious, tasty food from food trucks such as My Delight Cupcakery. Taste some of the delicious Cousin's Maine Lobster, JoJo's Gorilla Dog, and you can't leave out Baby's Badass Burgers. All kinds of mouth-watering delights, hot off the trucks, and plenty to eat. Put an end to dull, boring fast food and truck on over to City Hall in downtown San Bernardino for the Third Thursday Food Fest. And don't forget to check out Rediscover San Bernardino's Facebook page at facebook.com/SB Third Thursdays. That's THIRD Thursdays. And that's a look at the KCA Community Calendar. I'm Mark Westwood.
KCAA, where every day is a great day.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And you are being rickrolled here on the morning show, on the Brink morning show on KCAA AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. I actually really like this song.
I do too.
And I had such a crush on this guy, it's not even funny. So it seems that I have a thing for redheads.
Yeah. Yay, I win. So the big issue, I think, with the Comey hearings that is being glossed over a little bit or spun a little bit by both sides is the Russian hacking of the election, right? And, of course, Republicans are focusing on the fact that Comey basically said that no votes were changed. In other words, they didn't actually get into a voting booth or a voting machine and physically change votes. But he also said very clearly, right, and I believe the quote is, there should be no fuzz on this whatsoever. That's his phrase, right? That the Russians interfered in our election in the 2016 election cycle, and that's about as unfake as you can get. That's the quote, right, from Comey. And I think what he's saying, and again, it gets spun different ways depending on which party you're in, is that the Russians definitely were trying to affect the outcome of the election. They did it through a misinformation campaign, through a variety of bots and programmers and various people on social media, and doing things to influence people to change to vote one way or the other, right? And so they didn't actually go into the voting booth and hack the machines to change a vote, but they did in fact play mind games with people to try to influence the outcome. And the question is, to what degree did it work? You know, were those people going to vote for Trump anyway? Were they going to vote for Hillary anyway? Or did it actually sway opinion in a meaningful way in several swing states to actually allow Trump to win the election. And that's the debate, right?
So, and I know that this is part of what Mueller is looking into, and he will. I believe that he will uncover it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that it happened. I mean, I'm sure that it did because the Russians are masters at misinformation or
Yeah.
disinformation campaigns. I mean, it's he's ex-KGB. That's
Yeah.
what was the motto of Pravda? There was no truth in the news and no news in the truth.
Yeah. Now, the secondary level of questions, and this is the stuff that kept sort of being deferred to the private hearing because he said he couldn't talk about it in public, is the degree to which, or the ways in which they did some of these things, right? And so Trump basically holds on to the statement because Comey said numerous times that Trump was not the focus of the investigation, but that there are numerous other people that are being investigated, and he couldn't confirm or deny. And so he was asked about a lot of other people, and he'd say, "Well, we'll have to save that for the private thing. I can't say here in public, about those things." And so I think that the Democrats asked a lot of questions that they knew couldn't be answered in the open hearing, with the idea that that would help them to make the case that there's a lot more here, that there is a lot of shady business that's going on. And so the question really is, to what degree were people in the Trump administration communicating with the Russians during the campaign, and what was the content of those communications? Was there actual collusion, right? And Trump and Comey basically says that they haven't found anything so far, but there's a bunch of things that they're looking at, and he can't talk about them.
Right.
Right. And so that makes for a really interesting talking point. And I think as long as that speculation sits out there, and that's what Trump wanted to knock down, right? He wanted to get a clear, emphatic statement from Comey that Trump was not being investigated and that there was no there, right? Because he had a question. One of the questions was that Trump had said something like, "There's a cloud over me," right? And he wanted Comey to remove the cloud.
Yes, but and that's essentially what Comey had done. I mean, I can kind of see it from the president's perspective. Comey had done this with Hillary Clinton. She is under investigation. She's not under investigation,
Yep.
And so Trump wanted the same thing. He wanted he may not have been aware. Manafort and Flynn may have been colluding with the Russians, and if that did happen, then that will be uncovered. But I don't think Trump did. I don't think he knew about it.
Yeah.
I don't think it, because he doesn't strike me as a details guy.
Yeah.
I hired you, you handle it. Just bring me the results I want.
But I think it's because he had so many various people that were making these kinds of connections. Manafort, Flynn, and now even Kushner, they're saying, had meetings where he was trying to create some sort of back channel, and so I think when you see multiple people within an organization attempting to do something, it's hard to not believe that the guy at the top was sort of directing that activity. He hired them. These people aren't, they can't all have gone rogue. If it's just one person doing it, then it's easy to say, oh, it was just one person.
But this is a guy who will tweet immediately after Fox News. Like he's getting his information from Fox News.
Yeah.
And because they'll say something on one of the Fox shows, and then the president will tweet about it, and it's like, why are you getting your information from Fox News?
Yeah.
Any information about, well, not any information, but a lot of information about you, they're getting from the press room at the White House.
So
you should know more than they do.
So let me say, Trump actually made all of this stuff way worse than it had to be because of his tweets. And,
I agree.
And one of the interesting articles that I'm reading today was actually in the Wall Street Journal, where they essentially took comments from the hearing yesterday that Comey made and set them beside Trump's tweets about certain issues. And so here's Trump's version of the issue via tweet, what he said happened, and here's Comey's testimony yesterday with what he said happened. And I think that this is where Trump looks bad and digs himself a deeper hole, because you now have this record of statements, and so the question is, which one of these two men is telling the truth? And one of the memes that's out there that I thought is kind of funny coming from the Democrats is basically asking that question and then saying, who are you going to believe? The guy who served under 3 different presidents, and they list all the sort of virtues of Comey, or Trump.
Right. Right. So, and although I have to give, there's been a lot of hay made about that private dinner.
Yeah.
There was a private dinner that President Trump had with Comey that Comey really took as kind of asking for kind of a patronage, which is about his job,
Yeah.
because he'd been told on 3 separate occasions. That was, by the way, Comey told Trump and said under oath that he told Trump on 3 separate occasions that he wasn't under investigation. And I know that the media tried to say that was, a lie, and Trump was making that up, and et cetera, et cetera. That actually turned out to be true. And Trump wanted him to say that, publicly, as we've been talking about. Comey felt that dinner was asking for a patronage relationship. So you want to keep your job, I want some loyalty. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. But I got to be honest, I don't think that the president, he comes from the private sector. I don't think he saw it that way. I don't think that he necessarily thought, maybe he did, that he was asking for, you can only keep your job if you'll give me an oath. I don't know I don't know that conversation looked the same way from his side of the table.
Yeah, I think that on that exchange, that Comey seems much more honest. That his remembrance of that event seems more honest and truthful to me than what we've heard from the Trump side. So, for instance, Trump tweeted about it, was asked about it, and Trump was basically said that he was unsure about how the dinner was arranged, and saying that he thought that Mr. Comey had requested the dinner for the purpose of asking to keep his job as the FBI director, right? And I believe that to be completely false. I think Comey's got it right, that Trump set up the dinner, that Trump wanted to get this statement from him, that he wanted some sort of, motion that he would be loyal to Trump and not throw him under the bus, And I think that Trump wanted that loyalty because he saw what happened with Hillary, and he didn't want something similar to happen to himself. And at a certain point, he realized that Comey wasn't going to do that, and that's why he fired him. That's my opinion. I mean, that's my spin on it.
No, you're probably right.
Yeah. And I think it goes sort of to this Russia thing, and I think it's because you're right. He wanted some sense of loyalty, and he also wanted Comey to remove the cloud, to say to people, no, Trump's not under investigation. But I think Comey was not willing to do that because of what happened with Hillary.
Right.
I think you hit the nail right on the head. He'd already been down that road with, the investigation's over, no, it's reopened. You don't want to make those statements. Just keep it as clean as possible. Don't comment unless you have to.
I think that Comey was trying to navigate shark-infested waters. But I also think that Comey I think he likes the camera on his face. I think he likes to be in the spotlight. I think there's some significant ego involved. And so I'm interested because, Mueller's he was announced and he's not in the spotlight at all.
Yeah.
I'm very, very interested in what his investigation will uncover.
So I know we have to wrap it up here because we have to go to break, but I have one final comment or thought to you. Do you think there are actual tapes of their conversations? Because that was one of the issues that popped up from a Trump tweet, and Comey said, Lordy, I hope there are tapes, in his testimony yesterday. Do you think there are tapes?
I don't know.
You don't know?
How about you?
I think there might be tapes, but if they are, and this is going to sound funny, I think Comey's more likely to have been the one who taped the conversation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that if there are tapes, then you are correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. They're going to be a Deep Throat and Woodward and Bernstein and all of that.
Right.
So with that, it's time for a break. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the... Who are we? We are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. We'll be right back.
It was a beautiful day, sun beat down, I had the radio on, I was driving.
The Osgood File. Sponsored in part by Avalara, tax automation for business. With real-time tax calculations and automatic return filing, Avalara simplifies the business of tax. This is Charles Osgood. The political theater in Washington yesterday played out across the nation, as you'll hear after this. When former FBI Director James Comey testified on Capitol Hill yesterday, people across the country gathered to tune in, from commuters on a San Francisco Bay ferry to patrons in a Miami cigar bar. Here's our CBS News colleague, John Blackstone.
It was 7 a.m. on the West Coast when the Senate hearing began, but at Ace's Bar in San Francisco, the TVs were turned up and the crowd was tuned in. Heidi Zuhl dropped by on her way to work.
I don't come to bars, frankly, at 7 o'clock, but I wanted to see who my neighbors were, and I wanted to see how everybody reacted.
Americans seemed compelled to experience the hearing with others. The line to get into the watch party at Shaw's Tavern in Washington, D.C. stretched down the block. The crowd at a bar in Brooklyn surprised Renee Masiosi.
It's packed. Me and my friend figured we'd see maybe 10 people. Instead, we couldn't even walk in and get a drink.
People care, big time.
Jeff Kaplan, an owner of Axelrad Beer Garden in Houston, opened early and filled the place.
It's as if we're all watching our government as active participants and spectators together. You know, the weird part is that it feels like we're all in it. It feels so close.
On Twitter, 3.6 million tweets were sent discussing Comey's testimony. In bars, uncounted millions of opinions were expressed as millions tried to make up their own minds.
That's the American way. That's democracy. That is what it's about.
A divided nation was united, listening.
John Blackstone, thank you. The Osgood File. This is Charles Osgood on the CBS Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Marshall, PhD, host of Healthline. Tune in to get your questions answered and hear the latest breakthrough information for you and your family. Our pollen de fleur is on special. Natural support for the bladder, prostate, urinary, immune, and menopausal health. Pollen de fleur is a non-solvent flower pollen extract from rye pollen. Flower pollen extracts contain high levels of amino acids, antioxidants, and phytosterols. Pollen de fleur also delivers bioflavonoids, key help if you're waking up at night to urinate. Buy 2 bottles, get the third one free. Call 800-370-3447. That's 800-370-3447. And you can visit us online at qnlabs.com. That's qnlabs.com. Experience nutrition that really works.
Inland Body and Paint is a family-owned and operated fleet collision and repair shop that's proud to live in and help our community. Bring your heavy-duty trucks and or equipment to their Fleet Collision and Paint Center in Fontana for expert collision repair services. With 35 years of experience, you're sure to receive quality workmanship at an excellent price from Inland Body and Paint Center. From fiberglass repairs to quality painting, they'll take care of your truck and equipment from top to bottom in their new 64-foot spray booth. By the way, Inland Body and Paint of Fontana repaired and repainted the KCAA truck, and they can do the same job for your car, truck, or heavy-duty equipment. Inland Body and Paint, dedicated to the community and to your satisfaction. Call them today to learn what they can do for you. You can find Inland Body and Paint on Valencia in Fontana. Call them at 909-434-0466 or online at inlandbodyandpaint.com.
This is Pastor Greg from Chosen Generation Radio Show, heard right here on KCAA, 1 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays. Do any of these sound familiar? Not sleeping well, waking up tired, drinking more coffee than usual, can't stay focused, craving sugary drinks and snacks, feel like you're stuck on a treadmill, having trouble managing your weight, not sick but not firing on all cylinders? Any one of these could mean that you might have a system overload, and Thyroadrenal might just be right for you. Think about it. You've probably been feeling like this for a while. Life has a way of wearing you down, and if you aren't getting the right nutrients, then physical and emotional wear and tear will take its toll. Most of us at some time or another could use some nutritional support for our adrenal and thyroid glands to bring things back in balance. Our bodies respond well to optimal nutrition to keep daily energy levels up and stress levels down. Try Thyroadrenal from Michael's Naturopathic Programs, a nourishing support formula with vitamins, minerals, and herbs to put back what life takes out. Look for Michael's on the label. We're serious about good health. Thyroadrenal is available at leading health food stores nationwide. If you don't see it on the shelf, then ask for it by name. Thyroadrenal.
When Wild Palm Springs is the one where you get big water park fun barefooting.
In the sun, barefootin'. Flow rider, barefootin'. Wet and wild, barefootin'.
Yeah, get unlimited barefootin' fun with a season pass. Buy now, get free parking.
A free visit for a friend.
Huge in-park discounts. Hurry, you gotta buy and visit by Memorial Day to get free parking and more. Buy online or at Food for Less for just $64.99 today.
Wet and wild, barefootin'.
Park now open.
So, you didn't like that opinion, okay? Give us another 15 minutes. This is the station that leaves no listener behind, KCAA.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. So, at the beginning of the show today, I talked about the Greek Fest going on at Prophet Elias Greek Orthodox Church in San Bernardino. That's tomorrow and Sunday. So on Saturday, it's 12 to 10 p.m. and on Sunday it's 12 to 9 p.m. And there's all kinds of food and things to do. It's just music. It's just a blast. So the admission. Guess how much the admission is?
I don't think it was a lot. I want to. Couple bucks, I don't know, $5, $10.
It's $2.
What?
$2, and children under 10 are free.
Oh wow!
Right?
Wow. Yeah. Well, okay. We've gone. We don't go every year, but we've gone a lot over the last decade.
We didn't go last year because it was really hot.
Yeah. But what I love is the food. Right? They fill their hall with all of these different Greek foods, and my God, you eat well. Let me tell you.
You do.
They have everything. I mean, you can just go in there and pick and choose and get yourself some yummy, delicious Greek food. And then I love the tour of the church, too. It's a really interesting, fascinating building. And I teach about all of these world religions in my world history class. And so to have a basic understanding of the Greek Orthodox faith is kind of interesting from their perspective.
It is. The thing that struck me was, the Catholic Church and the Orthodox Church use kind of iconography to tell the stories of the Bible and of the church, but that struck me as interesting because the split way back when, of course, it's really about power back then.
Yes.
But the split way back then was over iconography, wasn't it?
It was, because the Roman Catholic Church was using icons, little wooden cards with pictures of the various Bible stories to teach the barbaric Germanic barbarians about the Bible, because they couldn't read. So they would use pictures to teach them the stories. And oftentimes the barbarians would take those pictures home and pray to them, right? And so the Greek Orthodox were saying, well, you're basically giving them false gods to worship. They shouldn't be praying to a picture of Noah as they're learning the story of Noah's Ark. And they shouldn't be praying,
right,
things like that. And so they technically used that as the reason for the split. But the reality is it was really about the power, a power struggle between the Pope in Rome and the Emperor in Constantinople, and they used that as sort of the excuse. But it was really about who was in charge,
right?
Who got to make decisions,
right? I mean, back then, absolutely,
yes.
Absolutely, because eventually the Greek Orthodox Church started using iconography as well, because again, people were not literate, and so how do you tell the story in a way and how do you remind people of the story if they can't read? So you have to draw pictures.
Exactly, and some of the beautiful pictures really do help and inspire and build a person's faith as you sit in the presence of this beautiful artwork.
The church the inside is beautiful.
Yes.
It really is beautiful. So I highly recommend it. So go eat, drink, and be merry this weekend at the Prophet Elias Greek Church, Orthodox Church. There's lots of other things going on, too.
There's a ton of stuff going on. So Friday, today, June 9th, Spirit West Coast returns to the inland region this week. They have a concert that includes top Christian music artists such as Toby Mac, Phil Wickham, Mac Powell of Third Day, and more. And the event will include family fun activities and guest speakers. And it starts at 4 p.m. at the Citizens Business Bank Arena over in Ontario. And the tickets to get in are relatively cheap. You can get in for $9.50 for the basic seats, up to $200 if you want to get like the really up close,
Right.
the good seats. And of course, you always have to pay that $10 parking fee at the Citizens Business Bank.
But you get tickets at CB Bank Arena for Citizens Business, cbbankarena.com.
Yeah.
So Saturday, June 10th, stage version of The Wizard of Oz will be played, and apparently that's Judy Garland's birthday, at the California Theater of the Performing Arts here in San Bernardino. The show, which follows Dorothy on her journey from Kansas to Oz and back, is the final production in the worldwide theatricals season. They're at 2 and 8 p.m. at the California Theater. You can get tickets at californiatheater.net, and of course, there's a range for those for purchasing tickets there as well.
Yeah, and the California Theater is a great venue, so if you want to go see some live theater, it's a great place to see it. There's not a bad seat in the house.
I agree.
Okay, so Sunday, June 11th, the annual Temecula Street Art and Painting Festival hits the pavement of Old Town this week.
Okay, I love Old Town Temecula.
Right? And they have some really fun events. We've been to a couple things down there. Check out the chalk murals that are created by artists from Southern California and Arizona who compete on a 12-foot by 12-foot space, right? So this is chalk art. I mean, this is awesome, right? And you can go to temecula.gov to find out more about it. But they start about 10 a.m., and it's Old Town Temecula.
So Monday, June 12th, bring the kids to Dos Lagos Luxury Theaters select days every week this summer for free screenings of family-friendly films. The films include the Lego Batman movie, in which Bruce Wayne discovers that he accidentally adopted a son who now wishes to join him in battle against crime. The film will screen through June 15th, and Monday includes an autism-friendly showing. So that's at 9 a.m. at the Dos Lagos Theaters. That's on 2710 Lakeshore Drive in Corona. And you can go to starlightcinemas.com to get more information. And Tobin, we have about 30 seconds left.
Okay, so if you want to see the movie E.T., it's back on the big screen at the Harkins Theater in Redlands, and it's going to be on Tuesday, June 13th. And check it out. I'm sure that's on the harkinstheater.com website. So very, very cool.
So I can do one more. On June 14th, which is Wednesday, the Rhythm of Riverside Summer Concert Series kicks off its annual run with a classic rock cover band, Southbound. This free series happens on Wednesdays in Fairmount Park. Bring a picnic and some chairs, and there's always dancing. So with that, have a great weekend, everybody. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are On the Brink, the morning show on KCAA. See you on Monday.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
I'm Chuck Kamlick, CNBC. The NASDAQ starts the day at a new record. The Dow and the S&P are not far behind, so they'll likely get them today because stock futures are higher. Endo Pharmaceutical stock will plunge. The FDA wants Endo to pull its opioid pain drug, Opana, off the market because it's concerned it can lead to abuse. Some big upscale department stores downsizing. Hudson Bay, which owns Saks and Lord & Taylor, is cutting 2,000 jobs to save money. Ford's offering buyout deals to 15,000 white-collar workers here and in Asia for the same reason. SiriusXM is buying a nearly $500 million stake in Pandora. Pandora and Spotify are playing Taylor Swift music again. Swift ended her 3-year fight with the music streamers and making fans very happy, but cynics point out that this truce comes on the same day that Katy Perry's new album comes out. Perry and Swift are having a spat of their own. Chuck Kamlick, CNBC.
Want to feel like a total boss?